This month, my sci-fi and fantasy book club read Paradise 1 by Dave Wellington, and I have thoughts on this. First off, this book does not need to be this long. It is not that serious. We could have taken out the first 150 pages. We didn't need them. Those should have been told as flashbacks. Um, Short little couple paragraph flashbacks later in the story because the pacing in this was atrocious. I gave this book 3 stars because I was really into like the concept. It was like kind of a space horror, and I was really into that. But one, our characters are so flat in this. They're so flat and one dimensional. If you read the acknowledgments, apparently two other people came up with these characters and like the general idea and then gave it to this author to write. I can tell. I can tell he didn't come up with these characters because these characters are flat and one dimensional, and I had zero connection to any of them. Like, I should want them to get to the end and live. But the only character I mildly liked didn't want to be alive anyway. So I kind of wanted him to die just because it would make him feel better. The pacing, atrocious. Like I said, this first 150 pages should have been told as flashbacks. I think the story does not actually start really until you get to them waking up from cryo sleep and they're under attack. Should have started the book there because it's horror. We need to ramp up the tension. Also, so in this you have different haunted spaceships and they all have horrible stuff happening in each one. The way the tension, it's kind of like we start with the most extreme one first, and then we go to one that's less extreme and terrifying. And I'm like, no, let's rev up the tension in this. And like they kept being weird spots where the story would slow way down for flashbacks. It's just the developmental editing in this was not there because there were so many random things that also just like didn't make sense. That I could make another video talking about because it would go into spoilers, but just so many things that I'm like, well, that doesn't quite make sense, but this would fix it. The relationships weren't really believable. Said I was really interested in what's going on and like what was going on with the mystery, but I didn't even like this enough to read the sequel, and apparently there's gonna be a third book. There's no way this is worth 3 books with how long this should have been edited down to be probably like, I don't know, half the length, maybe 400 pages. I think the 450 page book would have been perfect instead of 677, and so much of it feels unnecessary. The editing was just atrocious, and the prose wasn't great. Like the actual writing, mind you, I'm a Sanderson fan. I'm not here for prose. I didn't like this prose. It was just so